The Truth Be Told by Ishah, Binah. Telepathy 101. Ishi gives me telepathy lessons. Telepathy is often associated with the idea of mentally communicating with someone else's mind. Let's call that mind speaking. Mind speaking is an accurate way to think of telepathy if you are generalizing its meaning. Telepathy is so much more than mind speaking. Mind speaking only scratches the surface of telepathy. To say that telepathy is only about mind speaking would be the same as saying the sun is just a ball of fire or breathing is just a fun thing to do. Most of us know that the sun is much more than just a ball of fire. The sun is the most important ball of fire to everyone and everything beneath Ishi. Moreover, every living being recognizes the importance of breathing. Our breath is the very life within us. We live and breathe Ishi. Here is a deeper way to consider telepathy. Telepathy is the ability to control the mind of another being by use of your own mind. Of course, it goes even way deeper than that, but taking small steps is best. I'm still learning the basics too and taking baby little steps. But I will tell you what I can about what I've learned so far. Ishi's first lesson of telepathy has already been shared with everyone. Ishii explained to me, he said, before you can control someone else's mind, you have to be in control of your own mind. He let me hear the clutter that was in my subconscious mind out loud. There were thoughts in my subconscious mind that I had no idea were there, but I could not deny that they were my thoughts. I recognized the thoughts when I heard them. Yep, that's me. Yikes. The key to be in control of your own mind is to keep your mind on Ishi. There are many ways of doing this. We can read our favorite Bible books. We can recite memory verses, sing gospel songs, and so forth. However, these will all require one to be busy doing something. What about idle time? Now, some might be thinking about the verse that says an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I agree wholeheartedly with that verse, just as any other. So, how does one avoid idle time? When we are idle in our mind or when we are resting in our thoughts, we are still thinking of things. We are thinking of things to ourselves that no one else can hear, right? Well, perhaps that's not so right. We need to understand and acknowledge that Ishi can hear our thoughts. When we think to ourselves, instead of thinking that we think to ourselves by ourselves, think to Ishi. Every single thought goes to Ishi. That's the goal. Here is a short term goal. Teeny tiny goal, itsy bitsy. Increase the amount of time you spend thinking to Ishi by 5 minutes per day. What does it mean to think to Ishi? We'll use some sample thoughts. Have you ever had a really good day and woke up the next day still happy about what happened yesterday? Tell Ishi about it. You can think or say, Ishi, yesterday was so amazing. I'm still happy about it. Here is another one. Someone keeps pissing you off at work on purpose. You can say, Ishi, this person keeps pissing me off on purpose. I want to be mean to them, but I know you don't want me to. What can I do to feel better? Say this, and don't you worry. Ishi gonna get him. You just be still and watch it happen. Now, if you don't call him Ishi like me, you don't have to call him Ishi. You call him the very way you call to him from your precious little heart. He answers to every one of your calls when it's from your heart. Ishi knows every heart. He designed the heart, the natural heart and the spiritual heart. However, just in case you are reading this and wondering who Ishi is, see Hosea chapter 2, verse 16 in the King James Version Bible. To those that already think to Ishi, great job. That is a wonderful and privileged accomplishment. Let's take it up a tiny little notch. Can you think of how you can be more deliberate in your thinking to Ishi? Here is an example of deliberate thinking. Many of us, when we celebrate someone we love, such as a loved one's birthday or an anniversary, we put a lot of thought into giving our best, or we've at least witnessed someone else doing this for another. To celebrate someone that way requires deliberate thinking. One would need to spend significant time focusing on the goal of wowing their loved one. One example, the above example, is one way we can think of being deliberate in our thinking to Ishi. Try to impress Ishi. Learn about what he likes and what he doesn't like, and speak to him with those things in mind, always. Remember not to deviate from speaking of his ways, especially when speaking to Ishi. He can hear you. Ahem. Ready for another step towards thinking deeply about telepathy? Already? What a fast learner you are. Be sure to keep practicing too, okay? Okay, so we talked about relating telepathy to the concept of mind control. Now, there's mind control and there is mind manipulation. The two phrases are often crossed in traditional conversation, so here is how we will differentiate. Mind control, using your own mind to control someone else's mind. Mind manipulation, using your actions or words to control someone else's mind. Our area of focus is the first one, mind control, using your own mind to control someone else's mind. Furthermore, you can also use your own mind to give someone else control of your mind too. Notwithstanding, the only one anyone should give this access to is Ishi. Be very careful about this. Be a virgin in this area for Ishi. What is deeper thinking than the concept of mind control? Many may already know this one. I will answer that question with a question. What does the mind control? You got it. The mind controls the body. Therefore, once you can control the mind of another, you may then control the body of another. The next step would be to control small objects, then objects that have increased size. After that is the ability to cause things to appear. There is no final step. Your abilities will continue to flourish for eternity. You will be able to change your own shape and appearance. You will be able to fly. Flying is nothing. Take a step further. You will be able to immediately change your location. However, be careful to remember it's not you that is able to do these things. It's Ishi. Here's a quick recap. To enter the world of telepathy, you must 1. Gain control of your own mind by thinking to Ishi. 2. Increase the amount of time you think to Ishi. Gradual increments are okay if needed. 3. Think to Ishi about what you think he likes. 4. Elevate your thoughts to Ishi by learning more about what he likes. 5. Think to Ishi about what you have learned that he likes. Most importantly, do not stop thinking to Ishi. If we stop thinking to Ishi or slack in our regimen, we tremendously hinder our progress and even regress backward. Should you find yourself in such a case, simply redirect your thoughts back to Ishi. He is forever merciful and gracious. He will restore you to your place swiftly and boost your progress too. Ishi is such a sweetheart. This is also one of the ways Ishi makes love to me by telepathy. I love my telepathy lessons. Ishi is a very powerful telepath. As for me, I'm a baby telepath. But Ishii can pitch a universe sized fiery wrecking ball into a newly created Neverland that he created and cast it into the epitome of nothingness while simultaneously wooing his wife by means of telepathy. Yeah, of course, that's a small thing to him. This is what he is about to do to the earth, though. Right now would be a great time for everyone to start practicing their telepathy lessons. If this reads a little scary, that's a good thing. It's healthy to be afraid of his power. His power is chilling yet thrilling. Don't be terrified, though. He's not coming to eat you, my dear. Okay, okay, I know. I've told you that I'm a baby telepath, and now you want to see a trick, right? Well, we will see what Ishi says about that. You will have to be able to respect how telepathy works. Ishi doesn't like when someone expects something from him. He likes to surprise us with his big wows. Ishi likes to reward us the big wow way while we are completely focused on what is pleasing to him. That's the only way to get that kind of reward. Plus, no one can successfully demand performances from a telepath. Get it? They are a telepath. Therefore, my sweet dear, if you really want to see a telepathy trick, then start practicing telepathy as described earlier in this chapter. Engage your mind with Ishi. Someone I know shared with me that they made a vow to Ishi, saying to Ishi that if you will speak back to me, then I will speak to you every night. She then testified, witnessing that Ishi began to speak to her each night by visions and dreams. Very exciting dreams, too. After she became accustomed to Ishi speaking to her by dreams, Ishi began to speak to her not in a dream. Ishi will speak to her while she is awake. This is a young girl I am speaking of. She is my daughter, Leela. I have shown her how to speak to and hear Ishi, and she has mastered both successfully. My son, Dmitri, he hears Ishi too and speaks to him too. Though he has areas to grow in speech and comprehension, he speaks to Ishi too. I know he speaks to him intermittently because I suddenly hear him say, "Bye, Angel," at different times throughout each day. One that has the ability to discern might see that in order to tell an angel bye, the angel would need to be there. Also, others do not have to see the angel in order for the angel to be there. In fact, no one has to see the angel in order for the angel to be there. Now, try this exercise. Think of the last sentence of the previous paragraph and change the word there to the word here. Say this out loud. No one has to see the angel in order for the angel to be here. Those of you that have seen something that others have not seen, say this. No one else needs to have seen the angel for the angel to be seen by me. Apply that statement to whatsoever it is that you saw. March 12th, 2023, around 5 a.m. My telepathy lesson from Ishii. Ishii told me that I always have been a telepath. I would do things, telepathic things, and not know that I had done them. There are different stages of thinking, different levels of thinking are there also. Ishii taught me this just now. Here's a list and short summary of some of the different levels of thinking Ishii taught me right now. Surface thinking, stage one. To describe surface thinking, let us use a focal point. How about an apple? Surface thinking of an apple is to think of only the two-dimensional aspects of the apple or its descriptive appearance. What does the apple look like as far as color and shape? This is the very beginning of the thought. Stage two. The next stage to think deeper about the apple would be to consider its taste along with its appearance. Stage three. After thinking about the taste of the apple, now you can think about whether or not you like the apple. Next, think of how you feel when you eat an apple. Continuing on, you can remember what happened the last time you ate an apple. By the time you get here, you have lost control of your thoughts. I will show you how. Using the same pattern, we will start with surface thinking again. This time, however, we will use a different focal point. The focal point this time is a mean boss. Stage one. When you surface think of the mean boss, you thought of him two-dimensionally, what he looks like. Stage two. A deeper thought about the mean boss would be to consider the things he says and the things he does. Stage three. The next step in thinking about the mean boss would be to think about whether or not you like the mean boss. Now, think about how you feel when you interact with a mean boss. Continuing on, remember what happened the last time you interacted with a mean boss. After reading this paragraph, if you are feeling annoyed about a mean boss you have or had, you have lost control of your thoughts. Ishii gave me an exercise about the different stages of thinking. The goal is to remain in the surface thinking stage no matter what you see. He's having me watch a 10-minute video about delicious food. I may think about what the food looks like, but no further. I may not think about how the food might taste, neither whether or not I would enjoy eating it or how I might feel if I were eating it. Stay in the surface thinking stage, what the food looks like. There are different strategies that I'm allowed to use to accomplish this. I have to push hard. Physical strategy. A physical strategy. As a physical strategy, I can look away from the video from time to time. I can also hit the pause button. I do have to look directly at the food for at least 7 seconds at a time. However, before I look away, the numbers can be adjusted as I progress. But for now, baby steps. I have to look for at least 7 seconds. Then I can look away for up to 10 seconds or pause for up to 30 seconds. Oops, I've been typing this and I still have just over a minute of the video to finish. Be right back. I can also use peripheral viewing, by choosing a different focal point on the screen other than the food, while still viewing the food peripherally. Keep in mind, however, the goal is not to rely on any physical strategies to control the mind. This is a baby step. As progress is made, the numbers will be adjusted. Mental strategy. The mental strategy I am using for this exercise is to use deliberate thinking to avoid drifting into undesired thoughts. My focus is to remain in two-dimensional thinking. Therefore, I will deliberately think about the two-dimensional details. That is my focal point. One detail that seems easy to focus on is colors. Here's an example of how I will deliberately focus on colors. When you see a big, juicy burger that resembles a burger that you've enjoyed in the past, don't compare the two burgers. If you use my mental strategy and focus on the colors, you would think green when you see lettuce or brown when you see meat. Most often, those of us that like burgers think about what we most enjoy about burgers when we eat them, such as flavor in our mouth and satisfaction in our stomach. Instead of this, be in control of your thoughts. A step further would be to think of something that is the same color that you do not want to ever eat. That's kind of easy to do with a burger since it has lots of brown in it. You may have noticed the enticement to the right. Welcome to the exercise. Please do it with me. Plus, I want to show you some samples of my food. I hope to cook for you someday. Really. The next few slides will be a continuance of the exercise, okay? Here goes. Green, brown, black. Thank you, whoever is doing this exercise with me. And thank you ever so much for joining us in the mental exercise. You all did great. Some of you had a tough time, but you still did great. Remember, just do your best, and Ishi will do the rest. Here's a new focal point for you. It's me and my dad hanging out for the first time. March 13th, 2023, around 5 a.m. New telepathy lesson from Ichi. For my personal telepathy lesson today, I have to focus on being in control of my emotional expression. There are many that have trained in this discipline already, such as certain government officials and politicians. There is a special demeanor that must be maintained to represent Ishi. One must maintain a smile at all times. Ishi helps me smile. He makes me smile. Yes, of course, he is the kindest, most loving husband, and that would make any wife smile. But you gotta get what else I'm saying. I am saying he makes me smile. Ishi makes me smile by telepathy. The reason he makes me smile by telepathy is because my heart was broken so badly here on earth. I lost the ability to smile on my own. I've been fake laughing for over 2 decades. However, Ishi doesn't cheat, and he doesn't let me cheat either. Even though Ishi smiles for me, I still have to participate. I have to think to Ishi about smiling. Then Ishi makes me smile by telepathy. Ishi will smile for you too when you try your very best. We need to be smiling when we are in his presence or in the presence of Jesus. The telepathy lesson I had this time was very fun. She had me choose a focal point while I watched a very hilarious comedian. My goal was to be in control of my emotional expression. She had me practice not laughing at hilarious jokes. He said I could smile but not laugh. This also helps boost my smile. Though it wasn't easy, it was a really fun and very funny lesson. I think I overdid it with the pause button this time. Oops, Ishi. But Ishi said he just wants me to do my best. That's also all Ishi wants from everyone else, too. Just do your best. Ishi will do the rest. Ishi just explained to me that I cannot teach telepathy. He says I can direct the path to telepathy. Telepathy is not taught and learned, but rather given and received. The giver gives the gift of telepathy freely, and the receiver must receive the gift with open arms, welcoming the instructions. So, telepathy by Ishii begins with learning to understand the endlessness of possibilities and the transitions from one stage to another. Start with learning to choose a focal point in situations and gain control of your own thoughts by playing with your focal point. Treat your focal point like a thinking toy. Be in control of your own thoughts. Don't let your thoughts control you.